Got to get it in. Justice Smith. Jabari for three and the win. Yeah! He got it!
What's up, everyone? This is Lashard Binkley. Of course, I'm the host of Rocket Fuel Podcast, and we have a special episode today. I want to give my quick thoughts on the Kevin Porter Jr. news that broke today. Adrian Wojnarowski of ESPN dropped the news not too long ago, probably 30, 40 minutes ago, where the Houston Rockets agreed on a trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder, sending out Kevin Porter Jr. and also 2 second-round picks, and in return, they received Jeremiah Earl Robinson and also Victor Oladipo. Now, when you're thinking about it and you're looking at this trade, you got to think about one thing. The Rockets were never going to get much for Kevin Porter Jr. A lot of people thought maybe they would just have to end up just waiving him, which would mean that they wouldn't get any trade exception. They would still be on the hook for his contract this season, and basically they wouldn't get anything in return. So the fact that the Rockets were able to get anything in return, and yes, giving them 2 second-round picks is not ideal, but when you're dealing with a situation like this where we all know what's going on with Kevin Porter Jr. and the allegations against him, the horrible allegations against him, you were never going to get much in return for somebody having to deal with that situation. The fact that you were able to get rid of him before the season even starts, get rid of that major headache, that's a plus for me when you're looking at it from the Rockets' point of view. As far as the players that they got in return, Victor Oladipo is probably never going to play for the Rockets. He's coming off a major injury suffered last year at the end of during round one of the playoffs when he was playing with the Miami Heat. At the time, Sham was saying that there was a possibility that he could be back in 6 months, and that was back in April. That would mean that he would have a return time, at least basketball activities around this time. But you have to keep in mind he's coming off several major injuries. He's 31 years old, so it's a team that I haven't played in the NBA again, and we haven't heard anything about his recovery. And even if he does have a speedy recovery and he's able to come back in, let's say, November or December, I seriously doubt that he's going to be able to find a spot on the Houston Rockets, who already have their rotation pretty much set at this point. If anything, he'll probably end up going trying to play for a contender if the Rockets waive him. So I don't think Victor Oladipo really factors in other than his contract at this point. They also get Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, a player I spoke briefly about earlier. He's a 6'8", 240-pound power forward out of Villanova. This is his second season. Had a decent rookie year with the Oklahoma City Thunder, averaged a little bit over 6 points. As far as the skill on him, he's not a super athletic, high flyer type of player. He's the type of player that has a really high basketball IQ, has really good basketball fundamentals, is a decent rebounder, has a decent post game, has a decent jump hook turnaround game when he's in the post. So he's going to give you some decent play. He still has some work to do as far as the outside shot. He shot 33% last year, which is an improvement over his time in college. So at the very least, he'll probably spend most of his time with the Vipers trying to develop his game if he sticks around. If the Rockets don't, let's say, waive him, I don't see them doing that. But let's say they don't waive him or trade him to another team. I can see him sticking around, developing with the Vipers, which would be perfect for him because we saw several other players that have developed for the Rockets and then come back. So at least you get some type of potential prospect in return for Kevin Porter Jr. instead of just basically, the alternative would have been just to waive him and you get absolutely nothing for him. So maybe they'll get something from Jeremiah that maybe they'll see in the G League, but at least they'll get that time with the Vipers. But probably the biggest thing out of this whole thing is that they get a 4.5 million trade exception that they can add on to contracts like Reggie Bullock's, Jeff Green. If they decide to move any of those guys around the trade deadline, you're talking about close to $30 million right there that you could possibly put together along with your rest of your salary crap that you have left that you could possibly put together for another deal around the trade deadline. So that trade exception is probably the biggest thing out of this entire trade, but also the fact that you get rid of Kevin Porter Jr. and all the headaches and the drama that you have to deal with when it comes to that whole sad situation. So you get to move on from that. And more than likely, the Thunder, like I said, they're going to immediately release him when the first opportunity they give release him. He'll never play for the Thunder. He'll probably never play again in the NBA. It's looking like at this point. So at this point, the Thunder are just looking at second round picks, which they got from the Rockets. But like I said, the Rockets are able to move on from that headache. They're able to move on with the season coming up. They come off another win last night. They have another game with San Antonio Wednesday. Maybe we'll see more of the rotation, regular rotations play in that game because Jalen Green didn't play yesterday. Tari Eason didn't play. And of course, Victor Wembanyama didn't play. And also Devin Vassell for San Antonio didn't play. So maybe we'll see more of a regular rotation this Wednesday because I doubt we'll see that in Friday's preseason finale. But I will be out again covering that game, and we'll be talking about that. And of course, the San Antonio games on our next podcast come up this weekend. We appreciate the support as usual. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button because that definitely helps out the channel as we continue to grow. We're up to 550 subscribers now, so we appreciate all the support and we want to continue to grow and continue to bring exclusive locker room footage, pre-game, post-game coverage when we are out at the game. So, like I said, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and let us know in the comments what you think of this trade. Do you think that the Rockets got the best deal that they could have got? And we kind of just think overall about what the Rockets were able to do moving on from Kevin Porter Jr. and what they were able to bring back in. So definitely make sure you comment. Like I said, we appreciate the support. And make sure you check out the next episode of Rocket Fuel Podcast.